Hey everyone, and welcome back to the SCREENY. Richard Benjamin Harrison proved us grumpy old men can be amazing, sharp as a tack and incredibly hilarious every time he graced our screens. His commanding presence made him one of the main reasons why Pawn Stars became an instant hit and made the History Channel cool again. Richard Sr. was the one who started it all, but transforming the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop into a pinnacle of this industry wasn't an easy task. Even before he pitched the idea about four guys running a pawn store to TV networks, the old man had a pretty turbulent past. Want to learn more about it? Let's take a look at 10 secrets you didn't know about the old man. Make sure to stick around and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Now, let's see how the old man went from rags to riches. Number 10. School bus driver at 14. Most 14-year-olds spend their time going to school, doing homework, and hanging out with their friends. Richard Benjamin Harrison's childhood was nothing like that, because he was too busy helping his parents make ends meet. His grandmother's stories about their family's distant relation to American President William Henry Harrison couldn't distract him from harsh realities. The old man had a healthy dose of skepticism from a young age, and it sure came in handy. His family moved to Lexington in North Carolina, where he started attending high school, but his formal education didn't last for too long. Richard dropped out during his junior year and immediately found a job to help his poverty-stricken family. He started driving a school bus at the age of 14 and parked it in front of his home every night. The old man would always get up at the crack of dawn to pick up the school children, and he was paid only $5 to $6 a week in return. Number 9. Join the Navy to avoid jail. One thing you may not know about the old man is the fact that he spent 2 decades with the U.S. Navy. He served on 4 ships and attained the rank of Petty Officer First Class before being discharged by the end of the 70s. What you may not know is how he joined the Army in the first place. When he was 17, Harrison attended a barn dance where he met Joanne Rue, daughter of a local judge. They fell in love and tied the knots in 1960, but their marriage was off to a rocky start. The old man was arrested for stealing a car, and the judge offered him with 2 choices: going to jail or joining the Army. The Army seemed like the way to go, but it wasn't his plan to stay there for years. Joanne quickly became pregnant and he wanted to be by her side, especially after their daughter Sherry was born with Down syndrome. Harrison left the Navy for a while, but re-enlisting seemed like his only option because he couldn't afford expensive medical care that Sherry needed any other way. Despite the family's best effort to provide everything for her, Harrison's daughter passed away when she was only 6 years old. Number 8. Moved to Las Vegas with only $5,000. By the time he left the Army, the old man already dealt with some of the most devastating moments of his life. While he was still serving, Joanne obtained a real estate license and opened her own office. He decided to help her out after being discharged, but declining real estate sales completely destroyed their business, and they ended up losing around $1 million. By the time 1981 rolled around, the old man only had $5,000 in his bank account, and he decided it's just enough to start a new life. The couple packed their bags and told their sons Joseph, Rick, and Chris it's time to move. They were headed to Las Vegas, and that was where the Harrisons eventually found success. The appraiser teamed up with his son Rick, and the duo opened their first pawn store. After a couple of years of learning the ropes of the business, they decided it's time to expand and moved close to the Las Vegas Strip. The world-famous gold and silver pawn shop opened its doors in 1981, and it eventually became the most famous establishment of its kind in the world. Number 7. Wasn't old when he got his nickname. Having 2 Richard Harrisons at the same store must have been confusing, but father and son luckily both have nicknames so people could tell them apart. The old man got his when he was only 38 years old, which is still pretty young by most people's standards. Was it because he's older compared to the other guys working at the store? Was it a way to distinguish him from his son Rick? It may be, but people reportedly started calling him the old man because of his appearance and behavior. He always seemed wise beyond his years, and as far as we're concerned, this nickname is spot on. Number 6. Never takes a sick day. Can you remember the last time you took a sick day? Richard Sr. probably can't because it was all the way back in 1994. He's a worker every boss would like to have, but the most amazing part of the whole story is the fact he's his own boss. If it was anyone else in his place, they wouldn't even bother showing up, but not Richard Benjamin Harrison. Before he started facing health issues that forced him to be absent from the show, the old man was always the first one to arrive to the store in the morning. Number 5. Given the key to his hometown. The old man spent half of his life in Las Vegas, but his hometown of Lexington still holds a special place in his heart. He was one of the most popular people to ever come out of this small town in North Carolina, and that's why city officials felt like he deserved a special recognition. A couple of years ago, Mayor Newell Clark presented him with the key to the city and said it's a great honor to see him in Lexington after all those years. In addition to the key, the old man also got a special holiday dedicated to him. This event took place on May 29th, and city officials decided to name this date the Richard Harrison's Day. Number 4. Connected to a violent motorcycle gang. The old man established a reputation as an expert no one could possibly scam, but even the best make mistakes. The veteran businessman has a soft spot for his son Joseph, and turning a blind eye to his dark past got him in trouble. The appraiser made the headlines when he hosted a controversial Valentine's Day party at his Vegas home because his guests weren't exactly cream of the crop. Members of the infamous Vegas biker gang were in attendance, but Richard Sr. reportedly didn't know anything about their criminal past. According to his son Rick, Joseph unwittingly lured their dad into hosting a party. He believed the money would go towards a charity cause, and that's why he accepted the proposal. The old man had no clue that one of his sons was associated with the Vegas crew, and that they needed the money for an alleged slush fund used to cover legal expenses for 32 gang members who were arrested in a major bust. Rick claimed his dad knew nothing about the criminal background of his guests, who took advantage of the old man's gullibility. Number 3. Spent 15 years chasing his dream car. It's no secret the old man's a big car enthusiast, and he's ready to spend years waiting for the right one. At least, that's what he did in case of the 1966 Imperial Crown convertible. He wanted to add this vehicle to his collection for a long time, but it kept escaping his grasp. He tried convincing one of the original owners of the Imperial to sell it, and the poor guy finally said yes after 15 years. Everyone at the store knew this vehicle was the old man's weak spot, and the boys decided to tease him about it. At one point, they pulled an elaborate prank, claiming they sold the car to a guy who wanted to turn it into a lowrider. Richard Sr. was mad as hell, and he even said somebody may end up in a damn grave. But luckily for everyone, the car was still around. Rick and Big Hoss actually wanted to surprise him by having it restored as a gift for his 50th wedding anniversary.
Did you really think we'd sell it on you?
If you would, you'd be dead by now.
Number 2. Sued for assaulting a disabled vet. Not every story involving the Harrison boys has a heartwarming conclusion. They occasionally have to face angry customers, and one of these heated reactions got them into legal trouble. Back in 2011, a disabled Vietnam vet, Daniel Callahan, filed a lawsuit against Rick and the old man, claiming that they had physically attacked him inside the shop. He said the Harrisons placed him in a chokehold, dragged him through the store, and threw him onto the sidewalk. Callahan asked for $20,000 in total damages, payment of his medical expenses, and payment of his legal fees. He claimed his cane and the rifle he brought to be appraised were also damaged during the incident at the world-famous Gold and Silver pawn shop. Big Hoss jumped to his father and grandfather's defense, saying they acted the way they did because Callahan was absolutely irate with a weapon in his hand. According to Corey, he was screaming the whole time, and it was in everyone's best interest to get him out of the store. Number 1. Retired after suffering a stroke. Avid Pawn Stars fans noticed the old man isn't around as much as he used to be, and started wondering what's the reason behind his absence from the show. Internet trolls used his sudden disappearance as an excuse to pull a ruthless prank on social media. Rumors about his death gained traction online in June 2016 after someone started a page called RIP Old Man Harrison. His fans were devastated, but debunking website Snopes quickly proved there's no truth to these rumors. Richard Sr. is alive and well, but that doesn't mean he's coming back to the pawn shop anytime soon. He's keeping a low profile and focusing on his health, which is his main priority at the moment. The old man decided to retire from the History Channel's popular TV show after suffering a stroke, and there's nothing more to it. We'd sure enjoy seeing him put people in their place week after week, but his well-being comes first. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out one of the other 2 videos on the screen.